Attorney General lawyer of some kind.
The Attorney General's office, this is the one I know the least about.
The general public doesn't always understand what the role of the Attorney General is.
Attorney General, that sounds like a lawyer type of thing.
Sometimes people think the Attorney General is there to represent them as individuals in private disputes. Some people might think the Attorney General is part of the military department because of the word general.
Attorney General would be the chief lawyer on behalf of the state.
But the fact is, most people have a, no pun intended, general sense that the AG is involved in representing state government, in providing legal services to state agencies.
Well, they take on any case where the state is being sued or sues someone. The Attorney General is in charge and represents the state.
We're actually the lawyer for the state, the law firm for the state. There are over 200 state agencies, boards, and commissions that are served by assistant attorneys general. We also handle a certain amount of criminal prosecution work for the counties when they need help on a particularly difficult case. And the Attorney General's office is the consumer protection agency for the state of Washington. So when it comes to consumer protection, the Attorney General is representing the public interest. Most people know that if they have a consumer complaint, they think they've been ripped off by a business, they can call the Attorney General's office or send an email and ask for help with that. The Attorney General takes on cases that are brought to it by people who are suing the state government. It also handles cases involving children who are abused and neglected and whose interests are represented by the state through the Attorney General's office and through the Department of Social and Health Services. And another important function of the Attorney General is to defend the state's laws and to uphold its Constitution.
So they're interested in upholding the law of Washington as it's written. And so if there's any lawsuits that come against the state, the Attorney General's office is the one that's responding to that lawsuit, maybe with a countersuit or just defending it, etc.
I argued 3 cases in the United States Supreme Court defending laws that happened to be enacted by the voters and defending those laws against legal challenges right up to the Supreme Court, where we were able to persuade the Supreme Court to uphold those laws that the people wanted to have.
An argument first today in case 06713, Washington State Grange versus Washington State Republican Party et al. General McKenna.
Mr. Chief Justice, and may it please the Court. In adopting Initiative 872, Washington's voters followed this Court's guidance.
There are cases that the AG office brings against others. For example, when I was Attorney General, I joined Governor Gregoire in suing the federal government over its failure to adequately and quickly clean up Hanford Nuclear Reservation. So sometimes the AG brings the case. One of the actions that the state AG will take is to join other state attorneys general in going after targets in consumer protection actions.
Yes or no? Do you believe nicotine is not addictive?
I believe nicotine is not addictive, yes.
I think each of you believe nicotine is not addictive. We just would like to have this for the record.
I don't believe that nicotine or our products are addictive.
I believe nicotine is not addictive.
I believe that nicotine is not addictive. I believe that nicotine is not addictive.
The most famous example is the 1998 Master Settlement Agreement between nearly all of the states, including Washington State, and the big tobacco companies, to force them to pay the states for increased medical costs that resulted from tobacco use.
Attorney General Chris Gregoire.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. We are delighted to be here today. I'm sure that as a former Attorney General, you can imagine how delighted we are to be here to formally announce a hard-fought settlement proposal with the tobacco companies.
Especially since it was proven that these tobacco companies were concealing the real facts about the health impacts that tobacco has. So you can get into this office, identify opportunities to make life better for the people of the state, put together great teams to work on those ideas, and actually see results, which is really gratifying.